What up, guys? Your boy Just King Zeddy. Welcome back to Just King Zeddy podcast. And yeah, man, on this video, I'm gonna be going into a whole lot of topics. Maybe not too many, but yeah, I'm gonna be discussing a couple of things. It's gonna be quite a long video. Actually, like a podcast format, So, anyways, before we get into it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that the platform can grow, so that we can reach more people, so that the algorithm can push out this video to as many people as possible, and we can grow the platform. For those of y'all who like this channel, subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to this channel if you like the content. Subscribe to this channel so that the platform can grow. So let's get into it. Yeah, man. So what I'm gonna talk about first is Cyril Ramaphosa at Reverend Jesse Jackson's funeral. Hope you guys saw that. I know you guys saw that. He made a speech, eulogy. He went to the USA. He went to Reverend Jesse Jackson's funeral, and yeah, man, Ramaphosa is very much articulate. He's a very gifted orator. He speaks well, and he did a very good job. He did a very good job speaking at that funeral, detailing the life of the legendary Reverend, and basically narrating the story about his involvement, in South African affairs, back in the apartheid days and even after. For all of y'all, Reverend was always there. Cyril Ramaphosa did say that the man always showed up, and damn, he did. Even me as a young kid, I don't think I had heard Reverend speak, until now when I'm watching his old videos. I've just seen him just being there. This man with the mustache and, from America, just being there, just being present. Mandela, just being, like an uncle, like an uncle who just shows up, just there, when matters are being fixed, the uncle is just there, So that to me was very, very much a very detailed explanation and documentation of the legendary Reverend Jesse Jackson. Now that I'm watching his videos, I can see that, hey, the man was very, very vocal and speaking about South African matters, going in depth back in those days. So it was very much important for us to celebrate such a man, even in his, when he was going to his resting place, So definitely, South Africa needed to be there. South Africa needed to show up for the man, for his family, for his sons. And you could tell even in the videos that they were very much comforted, by the presence of the South African president, because they know how much it meant to him. We in South Africa, we really, really appreciate all the works. We appreciate the gift that was Reverend Jesse Jackson. Ramaphosa went on to explain so much. I mean, even Joe Biden, you could tell when he was speaking about South Africa and all of that. Jesse Jackson is always a common denominator, common, person of interest, or person who, Joe Biden went to speak to Mandela and all of that when Mandela was in jail, I believe. So, but you always saw Reverend being part of the story. And honestly, I would like for South Africa to honor Reverend by maybe giving him, naming something after him because of his works and his contribution to South Africa, and our liberation and our freedom, So that's what it is. Black Americans have contributed so much. We really appreciate and salute Black Americans for the great works that they have done in helping us, to be free. All the voices, I mean, even the whole liberation of the whole entire black race as a whole, worldwide. We are all inspired by the sheer grit, motivation, inspiration, ability to stay doing one thing and like staying for the cause, the cause of the black people. I mean, even concepts like Pan-Africanism and all of that, these are things that are pushed to that side even more than this side in Africa, So, yeah, truly, truly a special people. We salute the Reverend and his family and the whole entire Black American community. So that was just my perspective on that. So now we go into other matters, and I didn't discuss this thing when it was happening. I would like to talk about the corruption, so I would like to talk about the corruption, the corruption at the Home Affairs, a lot has been happening in the Home Affairs, a lot of things that have been exposed. It seems that people have been giving away visas and whatever, IDs and everything. People who work at Home Affairs have been doing that, giving away visas, IDs, and documentation to illegal foreigners. So there are a couple of people who were exposed. I saw someone also who was getting over 8 million, I believe, and another one who built a mansion in Limpopo, in the rurals, using some of that money, over 1 million, So it's kind of crazy, man. For me, I would say that this is quite disheartening to have South Africans who are so shallow-minded, who are so messed up in their way of thinking, who are so corrupt. It's quite disappointing that people amongst us would do such things, would mess up in such a way that they would become thieves and conniving and selling out their country in order to benefit and gain. It's quite disheartening. But if this continues, this is how places like Nigeria are built. This is how Nigeria, a corrupt world, a complete destroyed world full of just a dystopia. This is how it's created, through bribery culture. Bribery culture causes all of that. When you continue to push bribery culture, this is how a dystopian society, a messed up society is formed, because everything becomes about corruption. Everything becomes about, when the Bible talks about corruption and bribery corrupts the mind of the wise. Corruption, bribery, all those things are actually spiritual. Those things are spiritual. It does something to you. That's what people don't understand. Sin does something to you. Sin does something to you. You don't just go scot-free after sin. It does something to your psyche. It does something to your mind. It does something to your spirit, to your soul. It makes you to not be normal. Actually, you become demon possessed. You become a vessel for demons. When I'm going to speak about these things on this page, whether people like it or not. I'm going to speak about these things. We are in a world whereby people are pushing anti-Christianity. When the moment you speak religion, people are like, no pastor, what, they call me pastor, I've realized that I must not be afraid to speak. If if my ideas come from spirituality and the Bible, I cannot be ashamed. Almost now, it's like you should be ashamed from speaking from that perspective. And what you should understand is that that perspective is the actual, the wisdom. There's wisdom in the scriptures, so I will speak that wisdom, So what I would say is that people have run away from God, People have removed themselves from God. People have removed themselves from the wisdoms of God. And that's how you get things like this, Corruption destroys the soul. It destroys. That's how you find in Nigeria there's about, last time I checked, over 60 million people that are mentally not right. They are not mentally well. Some of these things is caused by the actual situation of Nigeria, But some of these things also are caused by the things that people are willing to do for money, the things that people are willing to do for benefit, And some other ones are caused by the after effects of being surrounded by such people. The core of Nigeria's problem is corruption, bribery, and all those things. When you allow corruption and bribery to continue for long, it gets to a place where you start selling human beings. It gets to a place where you start selling human beings. As you see in Nigeria, whereby selling someone is not a problem. Selling someone into slavery and whatever, it's not a problem. Getting them to Libya there and whatever, it's not a problem to them. Kidnapping someone and asking for ransom and whatever, it's one of the, it's a very big business in Nigeria. Selling people, ritual unalivings, ritual killings and all those things. Those are the type of things that you get to the more you corrupt your mind with bribery. You're gonna realize, oh, now I can sell my brother. I know someone was even saying that there's people in Nigeria, there was a guy in Nigeria who sold his sister, for some money. You understand? So those are the type of things that that happen. So I'm going to link this to South Africa. South Africa, if we're not careful, we're going to end up there. Of course, all these things have been happening in South Africa, here and there, where people do this ritual killings and all of that. You have all that. But it's not like the way it is in Nigeria. This thing is culture. This thing is a culture in Nigeria. You understand? So it's almost like people's minds are numb to it. People's minds are numb to it, You don't even hear anyone speaking about it. You don't even hear anyone reporting on it. In order for us to report on it and whatever, it's us, people in other countries who say, hey, look, Nigeria, this and that. Other people who come and do, documentaries and whatever. Then we're like, what? So if we allow this type of culture to continue in South Africa of bribery, and look at people now, they're allowing people to just enter South Africa for free, for nothing. They just come in, someone, 100,000 people can flock into South Africa, and you find the border control and whatever allowing them inside just for a bribe. Bribe, they're making money. And at the end, and just imagine, those people are making money. Every month they're getting a salary. They're getting a salary, but what do? They want more. It's greed. But what you don't know is that you are allowing people inside who are going to be killing your sisters, raping your sisters, killing your children, selling poisonous snacks to your children, burglaring people's houses, going to be killing farmers, the same people who provide food for your country. They're going to be killing farmers and not be traced. And you are the one who allowed them just for 1,000 rand in your pocket. Oh my goodness. Isn't that crazy? We really need to think about these things, guys. Just for some lousy whatever money in your pocket, you are willing to sell your whole entire country. You are causing the whole, dystopia. You never know how many people do you think that came through you in that border that have caused havoc in this country. That is literally like selling your own people. You're selling your own people to be unalived by these guys. So it is crazy. These people need to be punished. These people who are doing all these corrupt things need to be punished because they are killing this country. The people at the Home Affairs that are giving these people free visas and whatever, for some money and whatever, those people need to be, if we were in the olden days, or if you were in somewhere like China, such people would be getting a death sentence. You understand? Some people would be getting a death sentence for this thing. So I think we need to get to a point where we equate, we put together this whole thing and we value it. We put it into, we understand what type of damage these people are doing. These people, sometimes we only talk about the criminals. We talk about the criminals who are actually doing the crimes and all of that, but we forget to talk about the people who are enabling the criminals to do these things. People are stealing tax money. People are doing, in companies right now, not company, like government and all of that, you find the bribery culture, the way it's become such a thing. It's almost demonic. It's almost demonic. Cool drink. Oh, you want this? No, give me something, I'll give you something. You understand? So it's no longer about who's who, It's no longer about, not necessarily who's who, but who's talented, who has got, the merits to do the job and to bring value into the company and into the country. It's about who can give money, who's my cousin, who's my whatever, who's that. That's what it's all about. It's quite crazy. And we are being betrayed by our own people that we thought our brothers and sisters are actually quite corrupt, quite messed up, diabolical and devilish. South African government need to do something. Any person who still has a mind, a brain, functionality, needs to wake up. And when you wake up, you need to do something before these people continue to destroy our country. Shame on corrupt people. Shame on corruption. Shame and all these things. Shame on you guys. Shame on the guys who are doing all these things, being given positions of power and then going out to do all these type of things. So what is the future of South Africa? In a few years, these people will have destroyed South Africa. The corruption is pouring in. It's going from the top down all the way. It's covering, it's infesting. It's infesting. And I hope we don't get to that point where now we start selling each other, and kidnapping culture. And now the fact that we are bringing in some of these people from Nigeria, they're coming in here illegally, they're going to be bringing that culture, And actually, they have brought that culture. These people are bringing this culture. They're the main culprits that are bringing this culture to South Africa. They are causing South Africa to be like this. They are teaching some South Africans. I'm not saying South Africans are not corrupt and whatever, but some of these people, they are bringing in more of that culture. There are South Africans that are messed up, definitely. It's a collaboration of bad Nigerians, bad whatever, Mozambicans, Zimbabwe, and bad South Africans, bad apples coming together, And these people, these bad apples, would be so problematic that I foresee that they'll be trying to find ways to create a shadow government or to take over the government in a bad way and do all these things. It's almost there. I mean, you saw what General Mkhwanazi was saying. General Mkhwanazi said it best, that there's evil people who are trying to take over government, but not through the polls, through the dark, shady roads. So, I mean, it was said, even Gayton Mackenzie said it, that we have all types of mafia in South Africa. We have all types of mafia in South Africa. You have the Russian mafia, you have the Mexican cartel, whatever. You have whatever, Nigerian, mafia, drug sellers, and all of that. You have everything in South Africa. I mean, some of the top criminals in the whole world, some of them were found in Cape Town. There was a lady who was most wanted in the world, She was found in Cape Town, So, we should be really careful as South Africans. We really need to do something before this culture takes over. Once this culture takes over, I'm telling you, there will be disinvestment in South Africa. They will turn this country into an unrecognizable culture. There's something that Ramaphosa once said. Ramaphosa, he said that some cultures are better than others. When he said that, I thought he was being racist. But then I realized some cultures are better than others. The Christian root, Judeo-Christian, the loving and all of that culture is a very good culture, that allows expression, that allows meritocracy and all these type of things and whatever, and all this love thy neighbor, all these type of things. And as I said earlier, I'm linking it. You see how they're trying to remove Christianity from this thing. They're trying to remove the Christian root and the Christian ideologies to bring in the subculture, the culture that is bad. Not sub, it's not even sub. The antichrist culture. They want to bring in the antichrist culture. The culture that allows for kidnapping, selling people, unaliving people, mutilating people, and selling their body parts, and whatever. As long as, let's get them one. And what does the scriptures say? The scriptures talk about the love of money. The love of money is the root of all evil. And this culture that I'm talking about, this evil culture that is happening in Nigeria, is where there's the love of money. The love of money dominates. Their God is the love of money. Not all Nigerians, of course. They are good Christians. But look what's happening to the Christians. They're killing Christians. Wake up, guys. Wake up. Do you understand? You see where I'm putting it together? They are killing Christians. They're unaliving Christians. Why is that? Why is that? Why are they killing so many Christians? So they are bringing their own culture of, you can look there in Nigeria, you have these invaders, the headsmen, Fulani headsmen, and all those Boko Haram and all those type of people, Is that Christian culture? Is that Christian culture? So, what I would say is that one thing that I've realized is that integrity pays. Maybe not in the short term, maybe not whatever. You might look stupid in the meantime, but at the end of the day, the person who had most integrity will pay or will survive in another way. They will survive. But all those who are doing bad will eventually, somewhere, somehow, they will be cut off. Something will happen to them. They will not be able to do what they do for long periods of time. Maybe they'll do it, but there's always a cut off. Look at Didi. Look at Didi, for example. I love Didi when he was the motivation that he used to give, but it seems like undercover he was doing very, very messed up things. And at a certain point, you thought that Didi would never fall. He could never fall. He could never do anything to him. Look now. Is he enjoying his time on earth? Exactly. There's many people you can point at. Are they enjoying? There's many people even here in South Africa. You see this person is very successful, very rich, very whatever. But once they are found out, sometimes even the government takes away all their assets, takes away, freezes everything. Is that person enjoying? You know what I'm saying? So you really have to ask yourself some of these questions. Is this person enjoying? No, you only had a few years of enjoying, But even then, you couldn't sleep at night because how can you sleep peacefully knowing the things that you're doing? But you look at someone who does things right, man, they live in peace. So there's a scripture in the Bible that talks about the evil ones, those who get rich, who get ill-gotten riches, will be gone, and they will become like the hay. You see hay, dead grass. That's what they'll become like. Then it says, the righteous will fly high like an eagle, and they will never tire. Let me repeat it again. Those who get ill-gotten riches will become like the dead grass. If you know dead grass, there's nothing you do to dead grass. It becomes hay. You set it alight, that's it. You can never be grass again. So the righteous, these are the people who follow the God's law, that follow God's rules, and love God, and live by. They are an embodiment of God. They are as God intended, in the image of the Lord, in the image of God. They try their best to portray God in their life. Righteous, the upright. If you know how many Bible verses talks about the upright, it's a lot. A lot of Bible verses talk about the upright, the good people. These people, they will fly high like eagles, and they will never tire. That means you are blessed. with good life, good health, good whatever, ability to just continue and to explore what God has given us, which is life, the gift of life. Continue to enjoy, you know. That's why they say those who honor their parents, those who honor their mother and father, the upright, those who honor their mother and father, you know, will live long. God knows that the ultimate blessing is life. Don't let anybody mess you up. Money is not the best blessing. It's not even close. Life is the best blessing. Life is the best blessing, the biggest blessing. Everlasting life is the ultimate blessing, which God wants to bless us with at the very end, when all of this is said and done. Is to bless you with everlasting life. Life is the biggest blessing. Having all the money in the world and whatever will not suffice. Why do you think there's still people who are the richest and all of that, but they unalive themselves, they kill themselves? People from rich families and all of that end up doing drugs. Of course, not everyone, but it's very, very, you see it a lot. People from rich families having everything, driving the best cars, even without even working yet. But they kill themselves. Or you find someone who's found a lot of success and fame, you know, but they end up, you know, on drugs and jumping from, you know, buildings. We've seen it. People end up on drugs. Some even end up as street kids doing Uber and all of that. Ask yourself why. Is money everything? So be very careful, guys. Be very careful. This is life. And life, there's way more to this thing. Do not sell out. You know, people think like selling your soul is like going in front of the devil and with horns and signing with blood. No. Things like this, signing with the devil. Selling your sister to prostitution and whatever. And pimps who will drag her and whatever. Go and sell her. That is literally selling your soul. Allowing criminals and undocumented people in your country when you have been given a mandate to actually prevent that and stop that just for your own financial gain. That's selling your soul. You understand? That is selling your soul. So how do you come back from that? How does your spirit and your soul, you will be punished. You think maybe you are not punished, but I'm telling you, someone else will have much more peace than you. You will have maybe having all the money, but you won't have peace. You won't be sleeping at night, you know. So guys, let us get to a place of doing things the right way. You know, the problem is people think that doing things the right way doesn't work. You won't be able to be rich and whatever. You can. If people at the top and whatever are able to use meritocracy and everything, we can build and do things the right way, earn those millions in the right way, give opportunities, give things and whatever, let people perform at the highest level, get the biggest revenue, and then distribute. Then you are all getting rich. You are all getting, not stealing, because stealing, you are taking away the capital of the company. You're taking away what is supposed to. It's almost like draining blood out of someone. You know, draining blood out of someone and draining the amount of blood to a point where that person now is anemic. Do you understand? you need to drain just enough, and then that's that. You go donate or whatever. Not now drain the person's whole entire blood. What does that do? That means you are killing the source, where that person can come tomorrow and give you more blood, and then that blood goes a long way, and then they go and replenish, they eat, and then give it to those who their bodies cannot produce or is not in a good place. They need fresh blood, they need fresh blood. So why do you unalive the person who has the good blood? No, keep that person sharp, keep them nice, give them whatever, and make them so that they can come again and whatever. Then it's sustainable. Now you guys wanna just completely tank. You're tanking the whole Home Affairs. Millions, 8 millions being taken away from, the budget which is supposed to do other things. You're making the company completely destroy the whatever, the department, and you look what they've done to other parastatals. They've done the same. What does it do? It creates a ghost town. Ghost town of, when you look at all the parastatals, nothing is standing. Only thing is standing is SARS, which is what you use to make yourselves rich by taxing people. It's not a good way of functioning. It's not a good way of thinking. It's not a good way of living. You understand? It does nothing. It destroys. So let's be careful, guys. I spoke a lot about this one, but let's be careful. You are destroying the country. You are destroying the country. And yeah, man. Yeah. Let's go to the next topic. What I'll be talking about now is a little bit more of entertainment stuff. So, Music Pulse with Nota, Tahi, and Sfiso, as well as Candy Mars. So Piano Pulse was ended. And it was a very successful show. It was a good show, very hot show, a lot of good takes, a lot of good topics, and a good dynamic between Tahi and Sfiso, and as well as Mars being the mediator. Sometimes she's also, in the dynamic, because she's very opinionated. And what I think is that Piano Pulse, as much as it was a beautiful show, there was a lack. That much I will say. There was a lack. Tahi was lacking in a certain way. No, he is a very good presenter, he's a very good, but the man is not well researched about music. This problem used to exist earlier on with Munaka. That show felt like, that show felt like Sfiso educating these two people. Yet they are his co-host, and that, as much as it's nice and whatever, but people will eventually outgrow the show. That's what happens. People outgrow the show because it's reliant on one person. Okay, why am I not just watching Sfiso alone? Why can't Sfiso just do a solo podcast there and educate us? Then we have these two people who are just, that's why most of this new up and coming, even not upcoming, but this new age of YouTubers and whatever, all of them, the audience outgrows them. You look at the King Omars, the audience outgrows them, to a point where their channels are almost like laying flat. You find that Sfiso is the voice that is speaking, and everyone else is just like, oh, what? Oh, you say that? Oh, no, but you're lying, bro. You know, but guess, you know what I'm saying? It's like that. But another worst thing about it is that Tahi is not willing to admit that he doesn't know, which is a very big problem, with the current generation, the young generation. They want to act. Sorry if this sounds like an attack, but this is something that needs to be fixed, though. Not everyone, but there's a lot of kids who think they know way more than older people, and which is a very big problem. When they don't know, when you are listening to them, they know absolutely fuck all. It's very hard to find a nota in this current generation. A student of the game, it's very hard. They all just came in, they had the social media in their hands, and they just ran with it, and they got the numbers and the fame and whatever. And they just thought they were better than the people who helped forge this social media. The people whose data was collected in order to create this new version of social media. The original audience. You understand what I'm saying? It's almost like outshining the master. These kids are outshining the master, and they are being educated. But it's just that it's embarrassing how they're being educated now, because now it's like, what the hell are you doing here? What the hell do you know? You know nothing. Literally now we have to care these kids, but they are disrespectful at the same time. You understand? So that's kind of what you see on some of these new kids. Piano pals you saw, you had Munaka, you had Tahi, and they were just whatever they were. Yeah, Munaka, good looking, whatever, baddie, any of Tahi, very, very, very robust and very whatever, being able to have an audience on TikTok and whatever, but completely clueless. So as time went, Piano Pals, they added Mars, and Mars was better than Munaka. She's a young one, although she does have those characteristics a little bit of thinking, of speaking and whatever, and arguing, but at least she has a need to learn, and she's in the game, learning always with celebrities and seeing everything. And lucky for her, the thing, the yellow lyrics is a very, very it's an educational platform, even though people don't see it like that. But the interviews are not all about, hey, well, now who are you dating, whatever. No, it's like, oh, what are you working on, oh, whatever. It's about the music, it's about the album launches, it's about all this. It's a very, very good platform. Kind of reminds me of Slicker on Live back in the days. On the Ground, that's the show on Slicker on Live. Yeah, so she was a good addition, and that created a new variation of the show, which was very dope. But as time went, you started to hear, man, that it's becoming too gossipy. It's becoming too gossipy. Even though, it's just, we're no longer talking about the music in depth. We're not educating the people very deeply and in depth about it. It's just these guys that are just chilling. It works. It worked. It was very good for clips and all of that. No, but it was more clips that make people angry rather than educational. You need to get to the education. So, and Swiso as well, he does have those things whereby you just say, hey, this is alkaline, up and downgraded. Very hurtful things to say about someone's girlfriend, or about someone, And crazy enough that there was no need for him to say that. The conversation was not even about that. So sometimes you just felt, a way, and I understand why people are angry, wanting it to end, To me, Piano Pulse was like a car that was moving very, very fast. Very fast. Over speedy, to a point where eventually it was going to crash. We need to bring it back to educating people, which is why I think the Nota edition is a good move. I watched the episode. At first I was like, nah, man, they ruined it. Of course, don't get me wrong, I am the biggest fan of Nota. He's my GOAT, yeah, definitely. His advice and whatever has helped me to reach where I am in terms of like content creation. Yeah, definitely. Not just on this platform, but on my TikTok platform as well, which has over 100,000 followers, which is like a media platform actually, where a lot of clips that would never have blown up there on my page, just like the one of Nota saying that he wrote the Adele stole a song from him. That blew up on my page. Nobody knew that clip. It was on the channel there on YouTube. I think even the episode just has 30,000 views. Back then, I think it had less. Maybe more 25,000. Everyone watched. People watched that episode, but nobody clipped. I'm the one who clipped that part and went viral. It became a meme. It became national meme. And then the other one of Nota saying that they stole his song, Questa's song, he has fell around with the beginning part to make that song. Saying that he stole, not stole, but he took the royalties of that song. Because they took his beat, they took the beat for Questa's song, and they made a house song out of it. That blew up on that page, So the Nota is a very, very respected person to me. What happened now is that I thought maybe they ruined it. I thought maybe they should give Nota his own show. We should make him shine even more and whatever. But I saw that when I came back, I even went to his TikTok, his Twitter, and told him that, hey, because now they were all speaking at the same time, and But then when he told me to go and listen again, and then I went and listened again, and I saw a correction. I saw a force that was correcting what was wrong with Piano Pulse. We have those guys with their, energy and whatever, but then you have Nota that's saying, no. This, that. You do it like this, you do it like that. No. When those guys would just speak things and whatever, Nota is now deducing that whole thing and making it a teachable moment and making it a class in session. You understand? Nota is taking that thing and making it a class in session, which is what he does best. And now people can walk away from Music Pulse being very much educated, rather than just, oh, this one is doing this, this one is doing that, I don't think this one is, Pori, hey, Pori, what, Kelvin Bongo, what. Yeah, this and that. No, you get to walk away with Tato Yabadibu was a great album. You can listen to it driving from Johannesburg to Kurman and back. You can listen to it. It doesn't have hits, but it's this and that. Dropping this album of 25 tracks and more, to be able to do that, it's very difficult. You understand? It's giving you in-depth information of the music creation process and how certain things that are done by people are wow, you understand? There's criticism, but there's also, a musical knowledge that is being given to the people. You understand? So very, very important to do that, and definitely the show is gonna work, and the show is working already. And what you saw with Tahi, you saw a man who is out of his element. That's why he was so pissed. That's why he was so pissed. You got to see the envy and jealousy and whatever, that energy I'm talking about with these young kids, thinking they know more, thinking they are way ahead. He was put in there for the public to see that this kid knows nothing. And Sfiso, you saw Sfiso, he got to look back and say, he knew that, you could see that also he is impressed. Like, okay. And I think no time is gonna stop some of this Fiso stuff, whereby he just says things that are not even necessary. Although no time as well says some things that are somehow at times. But I think they both will balance each other, because Nota does say some things sometimes where it's like saying that he signed the guy who signed the lady that sings gospel, the one that's on Siabunga by Kabzala Small, saying that he signed whatever, and then Swiss was saying, no, let me call the guy. And then you find out that no, they actually just work together, and then it's like someone says something, the other one corrects, and then the other one basically correcting the type of character, to a point where now people won't be, I don't think people will be too offended by the show. It'll be less about if there are lies and whatever, or if there's something that is way out or whatever, someone will be able to intercept it, and then we get back to what? The music parts. We get back to the music. You know what I'm saying? So definitely it's gonna work. There are bad lighting on that episode, so I think that this coming Tuesday, they will have better lighting, and then we'll have mass as well, and we'll get the dynamic. And week in, week out, it's gonna be just. I think this is an era. It's gonna be an era. Music Pulse is gonna be an era, never to be forgotten in South African music history or podcasting history. Definitely. And then yeah. And then when it comes to other shows, I'll go in depth. When it comes to the other shows, the one with Londi London, Read the Room, and Phil Impella and Shamiso, that one was, I didn't watch the full show. I watched a little bit, maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And what I got there was not quite, I think there's some clips that came out. I think Shamiso and London, I think some people say they were hating on Tyler. Yeah, and okay, at least there's a clip that's going viral, but but I'm glad, because this is what podcasting is about, that they can be corrected if they were wrong. But for me, I just felt like the energy was not right. I think Phil Impella is, I haven't seen his talent when it comes to presenting. I know him from Twitter, where he just updates us on new shows and whatever. But to me on the show, it just seemed like I wasn't getting it, But Londi London is very interesting, in terms of like a character. She is a conversationalist, That's why an interview on MacG, did numbers. So I can understand why MacG got her to be part of the network and whatever, because there's something there, The only question is, will it be able to push the way that we want it to push? Will she be able to speak the way she wants to speak? I wonder if she will be able to, even with her own resistance towards the network, when she was being called to come and be part of the show, you wonder if she will actually be herself and bring out the best of her, or she's just there pushing time. That's the only part. Then there's the Shamiso lady. Her mother is a very talented broadcaster, Azania. So maybe she has that talent as well. Those who watched MTV Base when she was on maybe can attest, but for me, I haven't seen the talent yet. I haven't. I'm still yet to see it. I'm still yet to see her talent. So that show for me, it didn't catch my attention. Like, I wasn't hooked to it for the first couple of minutes that I watched it. But I'll go back and watch and see. Yeah, and then what else? The Kasi show, haven't gone deep into it as well, but I just felt like the guys, man, like, I don't know, man. When the previews and whatever were being done and whatever, you got to see them talk, you kind of feel like maybe they're not that good podcasters. They're not good podcasters. But we will see as time goes. I will get deeper into it. I won't speak too much about it because you may find that this week they were just saved by the fact that the show was, I don't know, man, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All the smoke with Tejo didn't play this week. Binga Nation, I don't know. Some of these shows will get into them as the weeks go. Then we'll be able to identify, because I watched it a little bit, but I couldn't get it. I understood it. I understood that, okay, it's a Zulu guys and whatever, but what are they really speaking about? Because it's actually it's about what are you talking about? So about what are you actually speaking about? That's what this whole thing is about. So I guess we'll see. So yeah, man, that's what I have to say about podcasting chill.